Haven't seen her for a while. Daddy's home. Hello audience, welcome to my vlog. The moment I'll break down my experience from my trip to Germany in detail, and believe me, it will be worth it. I'm Lucas, sit down and let's start the trip to Germany. I got up around 7:15. I packed my things and headed towards the Raushotel, where our person minibus was waiting for us. We said goodbye to our parents, checked our papers, and at 8:30 we set off towards Künzelsau. After a 3-hour journey and features coffee or toilet breaks, we arrived at our first destination, Olympia Person, where we could do some shopping or have some lunch. Our journey then continued for another 3 hours, but we finally reached our destination. Welcome to Künzelsau, or so I say, willkommen in Künzelsau! As for my first impression, I was very pleasantly surprised. At 5:15 PM, we were picked up at the Künzelsau Gymnasium by our new families, which we were staying at for 5 days. I immediately met my adoptive family and went to my new home. There I met the whole family, and I can only say that I couldn't have gotten a better family. Getting up was perhaps the same as in our country. Breakfast, preparing snacks and going to school. Because of course the goal of the exchange for school students is to test the school in a different system. As I approached the gymnasium where we will be going for the week, my chin nearly dropped. I was welcomed to a truly modern school where perhaps the only thing that resembled us were these desks. The whole interior and exterior of the school was stunning. Sometimes it felt like an airport, sometimes it felt like a board game. Overall, it was incredibly different from our school. I'm still not mentioning the teaching style. Not only was the school extremely modern, it had extremely modern equipment. All you had to do was look around you during class. The classrooms were somewhat similar to ours, but perhaps every student had their own school iPad. Yes, you heard right. And those iPads are just part of what they are using every day. The style of teaching was different too. Teachers made more use of modern technology and teamwork. Classes were longer and sometimes split into 2-hour periods with no breaks. It was very interesting that during most breaks you had to get out of the classroom and move to the community room.
Tak co masz klipy?
Ja nie mam.
There were just rules. But the biggest difference in teaching that I picked up was that the school was focused on practical teaching. The students had the opportunity to try and use and work with things they had learned in a practical way and be more motivated to learn. Whereas here is simple: learn, write the test, and you can forget it. It's just crazy how one change can make learning more fun. Another thing to mention is the students. There was a much going on the moment I walked into the classroom. It was more interesting during breaks. For what a quiet person I am, I was able to make friends with almost the entire class I was in. They were just amazing people. After class, we ate in the school cafeteria and went to our first trip. Willkommen in Schwabischhall. Our first location was in Schwabischhall, a town south of Künzelsau. The town is situated in the Koch River Valley and manages to enjoy with itself buildings and history. Our walk started in the first gravel alley from where we then crossed the Heimbach Bridge to the side of the river, where we could enjoy the beauty of the historic town along the Koch River. Our journey through bridges and stairs continued to the local museum, where we could see the history, traditions, weapons and construction of the city itself. Now it was time for the main destination of today's trip, St. Michael's Church, a very beautiful evangelical church. Yes! Look at me! Then it was up to explore the city. While the others made a beeline for the shopping area, Jacob and I made our way to a completely different side of town. The journey was beautiful, but the return trip was brutal. We had to use Google Maps and weave through unfamiliar thin streets until we finally made it back to the church. By now, we were also heading to the shopping area, where we couldn't even find a stupid ice cream shop. I guess that's one of the big problems in villages. You don't always find what you want. We will encounter this problem again, don't worry. But otherwise, the trip in Schwabischhall was worth it. It's a very beautiful place. After the trip was over, I was on the field to go straight to the after entertainment with my adoptive family, instead of taking the minibus back.
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go bowling.
Bowling was waiting for me. I did surprisingly well in bowling. Out of 3 games, 3 second places. I could still be first, but I always end up like Arsenal in the Premier League. Then I went back home and off the bed. In the morning, we had school again. I don't know about the others, but I slept most of the class with my eyes open. I had nothing else to do except English class. Then we had lunch again and another trip. This time, we didn't even need a minibus. We were thinking Künzelsau for today. A very amazing town, as I mentioned at the beginning. From the school, we went straight to the city streets toward the town square. We were accompanied on our way by places that were perfect for some photos. The path then led to over the bridge over the river Kocher to the town square, where we were introduced to the town's history. The next destination was the Künzelsau Museum, the description and history of the town. Next door to it was one of the city's largest buildings, the local boarding school. And to be honest, at first glance, I wouldn't have guessed it was a boarding school at all. I would say it's a church, a town hall, but I wouldn't expect a dormitory. But it's still a very beautiful place. Then we had to walk around the square, and what could I do now? I could work on the square, I could have popped into a shop, I could have gotten something to eat, but no. Me and Jacob sat on some bench for an hour. What else would we do? After an hour, we went back to the bus station where our families picked us up. So I got home, rested for a while, and spent time with my adoptive family. I played some FIFA matches with my partner's brother and I went to play football with him and his gang, and holy moly, I have never played football so well. The German air made me turn to prime Ronaldo. So we got back home around 9 o'clock and I took a classic nap. The cycle repeats, get up, have breakfast, get dressed, school's calling, the voices are back! But today is our last visit to our gymnasium. School was a bit different today. I changed my class. The new class was nice, but it was not like my first class. Towards the end of the class, I had very emotional farewell to my favorite class and group. And yes, I'm going to miss them so much. Lunch followed again and then on a trip. This time we went to a more historic place, specifically the town of Rothenburg of the Tauber, located northeast of Künzelsau. I prefer to call the place Rothenburg for short. I hope I don't offend anyone. Anyway, back to the point. The drive was quite long, but it didn't matter that much. After school, nap was fine. We disembarked in the parking lot right next to the entrance to a very interesting fort. Next on it saw the long climb up to the market square, and wow, the place was amazing. I think I completely fell in love with the local culture. But then the problem began. We got separated. That's not the problem. The problem is that I forgot my water at home. Well, okay, what's the big deal? You buy water, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the problem. These villages are expert at just not having the basic necessities of life around you. You are in a square, you are surrounded by shops, and there's no water. So we had no choice but to search the whole area. We searched everything. We took some photos, videos, and then found a miracle. We found a drinking fountain. I was salivating at the beautiful cool water from the drinker, and guess what? The water spout didn't work. I'm sorry, but is this normal? There's no water anywhere. I could have gone crazy. Now there was one last option. Turn Google Maps and search for supermarket. We found the nearest Lidl and headed for it. The trip was halfway across town, so we were out of town with Cuba just to buy an iced tea at Lidl. Then I look at my watch. With 15 minutes to go, we were half a town away from the meeting point. The first marathon of the week had begun. We made it with 5-minute head start. I have never drank a whole fifth of tea that fast before. Somehow we got through it, and then we all went back to the bus. So we went back to Künzelsau and it was up to our families. But some of us were lucky enough that the exchange partners were throwing away a farewell party. Our partners bought about 15 frozen pizzas, and the only thing I bought was Mozart balls. Yes, Mozart balls! Yeah! So the party started. I don't know any footage of the party, but I have to say it was crazy. So I partied till about 9 PM and then went back home. Now I went to bed for the last time for this trip. Hello. I would like to inform you that it will be good if you stopped with these stupid jokes. I woke up, I packed my things, had breakfast, and it was time to head back home. The adopted families dropped us at school. We did a big goodbye and headed to the bus. The ride was boring and it was a lot slower than the ride there. We stopped again at Olympia in person, had lunch and headed back. About 4 hours after that, we arrived at the Rose Hotel where our parents picked us up and we parted back to our homes. And we are done, dear audience. I hope you enjoyed our trip to Germany and if you have enticed you to visit the Künzelsau area. I would like to take a moment for thank you. I would like to thank the whole family who accommodated me. You were amazing. I couldn't have gotten a better entertainment than you guys. You've added tons of experiences to my journey to Germany. I had tons of fun. In addition to me trying to speak English, you also tried to speak English. It's been an amazing week. I had a great time with you. I would also like to thank the class 9C, which I spent most of my time with at school. You're an amazing class, you're incredibly fun, and I would love to meet you again. Thank you for letting me make a bunch of new friends that week. And of course, thank you so much to class 9A, which I was in too. And the main thank goes to our ERASMUS program, without which this exchange would not have been possible. Thank you for the opportunity to see another school system. I will be happy to use the program in another school. And how could I evaluate the whole stay in Germany? It was an amazing week that I will never forget. I would have regretted not going, and if there are any students watching this vlog who also got an offer for ERASMUS+, feel free to go for it, you won't regret it. For now, my lovely audience, goodbye, see you at England.